Shalom, family. Good to see you all. Hope you're doing well. Well, we're going to talk about a rant that Donald Trump went on last night on Truth Social. And he was ranting about the ballroom and ranting about Obama. I don't know why he's so obsessed with Obama, but then again, these folks are obsessed with anything melanated, especially us. Not all, because they're not obsessed with the Latinos or anybody or even the Africans. But, so he went on this rant and said that um, Obama has committed treason and he should be arrested. And I'm like, your ass is in the Epstein files and your ass should be arrested, Donald Trump. Donald Trump talked like everybody is a bigger criminal than him. And the fact that he's a 34 convicted felon, if anybody else got hit with 34 uh, convictions, they would be jailed right now because he is a rich white male. This is the only reason why he's not behind bars. And we all know that's why Donald Trump wanted to be president, because he feared going to jail. But it's amazing. He's so typical. They fear going to jail, but they love putting other people in there, though. So I don't see how Obama committing treason is worse than the Epstein files. And you haven't proven that he committed treason. Number two, Donald Trump. I don't understand why you keep ranting. It sounds like, I have to agree, it sounds like sundowning at night, because you be on these rants at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, when most people are sleeping. You're raving online every night. And that's got to be sundowning. And then during the day, you dozing off. Yeah, because at your age, you can't even stay awake around the clock like that. That would be tough even for a younger person, especially if they are actively working. They can't be up all night long and then jump out the bed and go to work. Yeah, somewhere along the line, you're going to get tired. You can't do that day in and day out. And it does not catch up to you. Of course it will. So here's why MAGA and Donald Trump are saying it's treason. Obama recently went to Canada and met with leaders, and they said that was treason. Well, Donald Trump, didn't you invite Netanyahu and his wife to Mar-a-Lago before you were elected as president? Is that treason? Because you got pictures. There are pictures of Netanyahu and his wife at Mar-a-Lago, and this is when Donald Trump was still on the campaign trail. He did not even have the presidency, and Netanyahu was at Mar-a-Lago. So is that treason too? Y'all need to cut the crap on these double standards. You are not anything different or better. You need to get out of that damn fantasy because nobody is believing it. So, anyway, y'all, let me go ahead and share my screen. And I just want to also give you the reminder that this is the final day of the sale. And yes, the promo code still works because I've been getting orders all day long, and people are using the promo and getting the discount. So yes, it still works. It should work all the way up until 11:59 tonight, and then the sale will be over at midnight. All right. Okay, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Well, Donald Trump, I think, is jealous of Obama. Number one, Obama had a better presidency than Donald Trump. Number 2, Obama, I don't care for Obama, but he's definitely smarter than Donald Trump. It don't take a rocket scientist to see it. And I think Michelle is smarter than Melania. Melania lied about her college education. Melania does not have a college education. But when Donald Trump first took office, and you remember Melania stole Michelle Obama's entire speech, that alone tells me she's not that bright. And anyway, she had lied about having a college degree, and come to find out Melania don't have a college degree at all. So she lied. She lied. Now, Michelle Obama, she is an attorney. She went to law school. She went to both Yale and Harvard. And Melania didn't go no damn where. And you can tell she don't talk like someone that have a college education. She talks like somebody that barely made it out of high school. So, it's amazing how she and Donald Trump are pathological liars. But we're supposed to just take their word that Obama is committing treason. Okay, the world is definitely bizarro. So, y'all, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Oh, never mind. I see your ones. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Overnight, Donald Trump posted dozens of times on Truth Social calling for President Obama's arrest, calling President Obama the most, quote, demonic force in American politics, suggesting that President Obama received $120 million from Obamacare, and more in a lengthy tirade that spanned over 30 posts in a matter of minutes. It's not a surprise to see the president struggle to stay awake during the day when he's up all night ranting on Truth Social and reposting just absurd claims. None of his claims are actually true. And the reason I even make these videos are because for years, the right attacked President Biden for not being fully fit to serve. Staying up all night and posting radical claims, calling for the arrest of President Obama, saying that President Obama is treasonous, all of these things. I mean, that is any media personnel should look at that and say that's not fully fit either. And this is not a just let Trump be Trump moment. Presidents should be held to a higher standard. Spread the word, follow for more.
Donald Trump just called for the arrest of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton for treason. Be very clear what's happening here. He's having a systematical meltdown right in front of the nation because, one, he's got a lot of problems. How do I know? Because he's had several MRIs over the last 15 months. Now, I'll be honest with you. I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't know the difference between a CAT scan and an MRI until this month. Because this month I had a small stroke. I'm okay. I got very lucky. But the reason I understand this is because I had a CAT scan, and I had an MRI. And in both cases, the MRI particularly was a big deal. They don't do MRIs on people unless there's something really wrong. They have done in the last 15 months an MRI on this man roughly 3 to 4 times. You don't do that on someone unless there's some series of problems that are really, really bad. No way in the world Obama had, or Biden had, or Reagan, or any of had 3 MRIs within 15 months. He's approaching death. It's coming up. It's time. I said he'd be gone by July. Honestly, if he's gone, and I say this again, JD Vance in could be even worse. It's not a time for celebration. It's a time to get ready to keep fighting and keep focused and jump in on JD Vance's ass. But here's the real truth about this, and I want you to understand, is that we're dealing with someone who is systematically breaking down. Again, I'm okay. Lifestyle changes I was already doing before, but now it's really happening so I can get better. Everything's fine. But I want you to understand, for me to have this at 55, and then for him to have this at nearly 80, I'm telling you, this guy is in meltdown mode in his body, in his mind. Doctors across the web have said that he's having dementia mode and he's out the door. But what I keep telling all of you is don't worry about that. Chill out and realize what's going on. His meltdown is going to be a combination of bringing down himself, his partners in these grifts and all this other weird shit he's doing to steal from America, as well as the administration, and even more importantly, the GOP Republican Party. You know, I was listening to one of his former advisors, Scaramucci, and Scaramucci was saying some real stupid shit about, oh, Democrats can't stand all of the Republicans, all 70 million of them. And he said some real stupid shit like, grow up. I said, whoa. And I responded on his social media, grow up? What do you mean grow up? That's some typical white boy shit. Grow up? Tell you what.
So people are like, you need to stick to sports. Just stick to sports, which I get. This morning, Donald Trump called for Barack Obama to be arrested. And I want you to listen to this real quick. This is a clip from his White House briefing.
From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him. And Comey was there. And Clapper, the whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room. Right here, this was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up that came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one they...
I just saw what Trump posted on his social media. Trump and Obama. And while Trump and Obama are in a meeting, the FBI comes and brings Obama down to his knees, arrests him, and takes him to jail, while having people say no one is above the law. No one is above the law, Donald. That all applies to you, not to Barack Obama. But what I found, most disturbing is that you would post something like this, something so vile and so gross. And I want you to know the rest of the world is looking at you with complete disgust, because that should be removed immediately. And you should send Obama an apology, because what you did was just flat gross. It's not funny. It's not humorous. It's disgusting. And it makes you look horrible. And it brings down the office of the presidency. And that's what I'm most concerned about, because you're already as low as they get in my book. And there's nothing you can do to bring yourself any lower. But to drag down the office of the presidency is even below you, Donald Trump. So please remove that video immediately, because it's just disgusting.
Donald Trump is a frighteningly sick individual. All last night, he was posting about former President Barack Obama as Trump continues to panic as he believes the CIA right now is turning against him, that his intelligence agencies are turning against him. Donald Trump has ordered the Department of Justice to launch investigations into the CIA, into various intelligence services, to see if they're currently spying on Donald Trump and if they're leaking to the press. And there have been numerous subpoenas flying as Donald Trump's paranoia is just crippling him at night. Last night, Donald Trump made at least 50 posts about former President Barack Obama, post after post saying Obama is guilty of treason. Obama had a really bad week this week. Obama stole hundreds of millions of dollars from Obamacare, which is completely false. Obama is working with the CIA to try to get me. Obama this, Obama that. It was post after post after post. Let me just show you what Donald Trump was saying so you can see for yourself, as we also know that Donald Trump is launching criminal investigations into various media entities for their sources who Donald Trump claims are providing classified information about just how catastrophic Donald Trump's war in Iran is. And now we're seeing even further evidence that this war is likely going to escalate, as Israeli news sources are saying that Donald Trump and Netanyahu are planning on attacking Iran. Again, Donald Trump may wait until after his trip with Xi Jinping in China, because Donald Trump wants that trip to go as smooth as possible so he can get his picture with Xi Jinping, because Donald Trump is enamored by Xi Jinping. But let me just show you what Donald Trump was saying about Obama all last night. Donald Trump reposting a cat turd account. Let me repeat that. Donald Trump reposting an account called Cat Turd 2, arrest Obama the traitor, Donald Trump writes. Donald Trump also posts bigger than Watergate, straight up sedition against the United States government. Barack Obama commissioned the intelligence community to falsify intelligence, and his CIA is the single largest spying operation in American history. Boom, Donald Trump writes in another post. 20 CIA and FBI agents dropped a political nuke on Obama by confirming that Barack Obama and a former CIA director fabricated the Russia hoax. Excuse me? You're speaking to Putin like on a weekly basis right now, removing sanctions against Russia, bringing in massive quantities of Russian fertilizer right now, contributing to Russia's war efforts against Ukraine. You're out there begging Zelensky for ceasefires right now so that Russia can have its military day parade. And then when Russia violates its end of the ceasefire, you go mute. Yeah, Russia is in plain view. You had Putin show up to Alaska last August. Donald Trump continues to post last night. Bombshell exposed. Obama's coup plot unraveling. 20 CIA and FBI whistleblowers drop the hammer. Another post right here. Donald Trump is posting an account called John F. Kennedy Jr. These are all like QAnon accounts that Donald Trump is posting, posts from literal death cults. Donald Trump reposting. And by the way, in addition to the 50 posts about former President Barack Obama, Donald Trump was making deranged posts about hunting down sex trafficking rings, and these weird posts about Senator Schiff, and tons of posts about Clinton. But the common theme was Donald Trump attacking Obama over and over again. Like Donald Trump posted this from an account called John F. Kennedy Jr. Barack Hussein Obama wiretapping Trump Tower during the 2016 election was 1,000,000 times worse than anything Nixon did during Watergate. It's time to arrest the renegade. Follow me. The next drop will be shocking. By the next drop, they're talking about QAnon drops. Like, can we realize how deranged, demented, ill, psychologically disturbed, screwed up, vile the individual in the Oval Office is? That at night he's posting arrest Obama, he's posting QAnon drops. And here's the thing, not a single news source, I think other than the Midas Touch Network, is going to report on this. I guess this isn't newsworthy to anybody else. Yeah, you know, it's just the president of the United States posting QAnon drops, literal death cults, attacking the former president, saying I'm going to arrest him for treason, saying that I'm currently being spied on and I was spied on in the past, and that Obama's having a bad week. Yeah, you know, and Donald Trump is going to Walter Reed. We learned yesterday to have an annual physical. They say he's also going to the dentist again. He went to the dentist 2 weeks ago. He went to the dentist in January. There's a dental operatory in the White House, but apparently Donald Trump's going to Walter Reed to see the dentist on May 26th. But he also saw the dentist in Florida on May 2nd. Then he also saw the dentist in Florida on January 10th. And he also saw a doctor where he got an abdominal MRI, which isn't even really a thing. But then they said it was a CT scan last October. And then they claimed he had an last annual physical, April 2025. Folks, Some of the most deranged things are going on and nobody's covering it except us at the Midas Touch Network. What the hell is even going on? Then Donald Trump posts this fire video about Obama. Obama just had his worst week in years. Obama had his worst week in years. It's May 2026. Obama hasn't been in office for a very long time. What do you mean?
Obama has not been in office probably going on 11 years. So I don't know why he's going on and on and on about Obama, and he has not been in the White House for more, 11 years? Yeah, Donald Trump, there is something wrong. And they're not going to be able to hide this about Donald Trump. I think his dementia is advancing. That's why he needs so many visits with the doctor. And like I said, the people in DC are saying they hear his Air Force One and they see it flying over the residential area going to Walter Reed. And they see his motorcade going to Walter Reed. The people in DC are online saying these things. So he's going more frequently because I think his dementia is progressing. Remember, both his parents had dementia. So it wouldn't be far-fetched for Donald Trump to have it too. So, yeah, I mean, these late night fits, I noticed they're getting worse. And it's not getting better. And usually that will occur, especially in somebody that is, progressing. All right, here we go.
At the Obama Presidential Center. That was his post. Here's the video. Play it.
You know, my mom didn't live to see me as president, but she was reflected in everything I did as president because she was a kind person, somebody who believed in doing things for other folks and not just thinking for yourself. A lot of those values of respecting people, regardless of their backgrounds, and listening to them and learning from them, I learned from her.
Overnight, Donald Trump posted dozens of times on Truth Social calling for President Obama's arrest, calling President Obama the most, quote, demonic force in American politics, suggesting that President Obama received $120 million from Obamacare, and more in a lengthy follow for more.
Did you guys see this? Trump posted this a few days ago, and the fact that he posted it makes me wonder if Barry's arrest is imminent. I mean, at Barack Obama, I hope they arrest you before your grand opening of your war bunker in the south side of Chicago. You committed treason, targeting the president of the United States with Hillary Clinton. It's time we prosecuted someone for treason and send a message. Guys, not only would this be historic, it would be justice and the right thing to do. Puppet Master, no more.
He posted something like 30 times on Truth Social last night in the course of a minute or two, ranting about how former President Obama should be arrested and how he's a demon and how he made $120 million off Obamacare. And of course, none of that's true. And the fact that I have to even say none of that's true is astounding to me in today's world. But the reality is there are people who believe this and believe him, believe he's perfectly rational and sane. And this is rational and sane behavior and the type of behavior that a president of the United States should be engaging in. I mean, it's got me questioning my own sanity. Like, did I wake up in some sort of alternate timeline, or am I dreaming or in a coma, or maybe I died during COVID and this is hell? It is absolute lunacy. And I can't even get my head around it. Something about it. Have a good day. Peace.
All right, y'all. You know, they should just admit that Donald Trump is not well. I mean, we can see it physically, and when you see what he's ranting about in the middle of the night when he should be resting and sleeping, it is a clear sign something is definitely going on with him. But hey, they're gonna let him get up and do all this ranting, then it is what it is, you know? I say let him do it. Then there is no denying that there are issues there, and this man is probably sundowning, that's why he's not sleeping. So and I'm sure he's probably a hell of a lot it's hard to believe that Donald Trump can be worse at night, he's worse during the day, but it probably is true. So, I mean, who's at fault? All the people there that won't act when they see him doing anything wrong. Look, they wouldn't even do nothing about the war. And do you hear anybody in the Congress or Senate talking about the soldiers not getting fed and the sailors not getting fed? They're not doing anything. They're just kind of sitting there doing nothing. At this point, what is the purpose of you politicians? Y'all, mm, what a mess. But seriously, what is the purpose of y'all being around? You don't do nothing. Donald Trump can pretty much do whatever the hell he wants, and y'all just sit there and watch. So, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, Ellie Bow, I'm sorry, Ellie Brow. We spoke about that earlier this morning. I had a live and we spoke about the Strait of Hormuz being closed for 6 months. Spoke about it yesterday too. So, yeah, we're fully aware. Mhm. Well, I tell you what, this looks like it's gonna be a rapid decline, y'all, between the president losing it in the middle of the night and all the stuff going on with the gas stations, letting the public know that many of the gas stations around the country are out of gas. I think we're gonna see a more rapid decline, especially when we get in the summer months, which normally is a big travel season, and we may, for the first time, see the exact opposite, where people aren't going anywhere this summer. Very few people will be traveling. And I never saw that in my lifetime. Even when I was a kid, people were traveling in big numbers when the weather got warm. Even my family did. But this summer, we may see the first game changer of something that has not ever been seen historically in this country. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. And, again, this is the final day for the 35% off sale on Etsy. So I still have plenty of everything. So, you can stock up and take advantage of the discount. So, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon and be on the lookout for my next live. Shalom, family.